What is going on, guys? You're listening to the Realest Podcast, and before we start our Monday night review, I just want to say, um, first off, let's have a moment of silence for the tragedy that happened in Orlando, Florida this past weekend. Thank you guys very much, and welcome to another Monday Night Raw review, June 13th, 2016. I'm joined by Andrew Bass. Kyle is not here with us tonight, which is, I think, the first time he hasn't been here with us since the Royal Rumble. So, his mother is sick, so we're all hoping that she gets well soon. So, Andrew, tonight, interesting Raw. I really wanted Kyle on the show because he actually has some strong opinions I saw on Twitter. I don't know. What do you think of tonight?
I think it was okay Raw. I mean, it's definitely been better than the Raw that we've had for the past few weeks. A lot of good things developed. Unfortunately, I missed that great promo that you guys were telling me about with my power going out with Styles and Cena. So I definitely want to hear your opinion on that. I'm going to have to rewatch that after the show.
Yeah, the thing I think what they're doing great in is the fact that it's just so real. It's so real when their promos they're cutting. It's honestly, I'm loving it. Everything they're saying is so true. AJ Styles can't. WWE said you're just not the guy for us. Would be the only guy in history to be a top guy and for WWE not to give him a chance, and then now he's here, and then Styles saying his time is up and my time is now. It was very real promos. They've been doing it all all month long with their promos. Last week was a
last week
Raw.
was very powerful, and you know what? It hit the head on the nail, and it's
No,
everything that
last
we've
week
been
was
saying.
just a bad Raw in general.
Right, no, but I'm talking about between Cena and Styles, the promo, where he went off and said just flat off, this is where guys like you bury guys like me. And it is exactly what we said from day one.
Right. Man, I don't know what it is. It could be me being brainwashed or the fact that it's starting to turn into, where I'm like, okay, now I'm enjoying the Raws, but I really enjoyed this Raw. I think the very end kind of got kind of chaotic. I didn't like the end, but, for how long now can we say that we've seen something that is a main event caliber promo or a main event caliber match in the middle of the second hour?
Mm-hmm.
We saw the Ambrose Asylum go on in the second hour. We saw Cena and Styles go on at the very end of the second hour.
Right.
And then in our third hour, we get Dean Ambrose versus Chris Jericho with Cesaro as a ring announcer a ring announcer, and then we had Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens at commentary, and Alberto Del Rio as the special guest bell ringer.
Which was all set up from the beginning.
Yeah, but what? Why is this our main event? I understand they're trying to surround everything with the Money in the Bank, but why is this our main event?
That's a good question. I guess they feel like they really need to push the Money in the Bank, but I feel like they could have moved the Styles promo up to the end.
Right. I don't know. When I look at a main event, I'm looking at, with WWE, your main event is going to be based on who your champion is, and based on who is facing your champion. I honestly haven't seen that. I've seen more of matches like we saw today, where it really means nothing as your main event. The Ambrose Asylum as the main event would have been great, and then Dean doing what he did, which kind of seems like a heel turn, and then or having the Styles and Cena go as your main event. That would have been great. I honestly think if you end it where Cena and Styles does that at the end of the second hour, I think that's a great Raw. That's how you finish Raw, and that's great.
So the one thing you have to worry about, and I think this is where WWE is trying to tread carefully, is you don't want the Cena Styles main event type match to outshine the Seth Rollins Roman Reigns match.
Right, because that's your title and that's your main event.
Right. But it's going to happen, unfortunately, because everybody's so hyped up about this match.
Right.
And I feel like they're trying to lure distractions away from that conflict by kind of splitting them up. I guess trying to use the Money in the Bank as a way to kind of balance everything, if that
Right.
makes any sense. But that's the thing, though. Like, you had to expect that going forward. I mean, Roman Reigns is not the guy that they want to see. And when you put AJ Styles and Cena in the match, that's the match that they're going to be asking for. That's the match they're going to be waiting for. And that's the kind of thing they have to compete with.
Right.
And unfortunately, it's going to be hard for them to go forward to do that.
Right. If I was paying $50 for this pay per view this Sunday, I would honestly be paying for it for Cena and Styles.
Right.
The only people that like or want Roman Reigns is the women and children. As of right now, I'm all over and all for Seth Rollins. I think giving him the title will continue that storyline, and then told you guys he can't beat me, yada yada yada. And I think it's getting to a point where it's kind of clear we're either going to see Kevin Owens or Dean Ambrose win that Money in the Bank.
Right.
So
I feel like it depends on who wins Money in the Bank or as to who is going to win that match. If they go with Kevin Owens winning, I doubt they're going to have Seth Rollins take it.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
Because honestly, Roman Reigns could win that match, and if Kevin Owens hypothetically wins, he could come right out and take the title from him.
If I look at the 6 men in that match, Chris Jericho, Alberto Del Rio, Cesaro, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and Dean Ambrose. If I look at all 6 of them, I look at it this way: who's honestly earned it, who's worked their ass off, and who really has earned it. If you were to ask me right now who I thought who earns it and who deserves to have the Money in the Bank briefcase, I would say Dean Ambrose 100%.
Yeah,
as much
I
as
could definitely see Dean Ambrose.
As much as I would love to see Kevin Owens with it, I think Dean Ambrose deserves it because he's been the shadow of Roman Reigns. He lost the Survivor Series. He took the pin at Fastlane in that triple threat match. He lost at WrestleMania. Now he's on that winning streak now, and everything's starting to turn around for him. I think he deserves it.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Dean Ambrose, he's worked his ass off. He's really cut good promos lately, and he's really been more exciting than Roman Reigns has been since WrestleMania.
Right.
But here's my thing with the Money in the Bank ladder matches. You got 6 guys that could potentially grab that briefcase. But if I were WWE, I would throw a wrench in that plan. There's so much you can do in a Money in the Bank briefcase, Money in the Bank ladder match, and the very first thing that you have to keep in mind is there are no rules, absolutely no rules at all. So I've always contemplated this, and maybe you can give me your insight on this as well. What's stopping a random superstar from running down that ramp and grabbing that briefcase and claiming it as their own?
I mean, they're not a part of the match. That would be dumb to have some random person run down the ramp and grab the briefcase. Like, they're not a part of the match.
Yeah, but I mean, they could always throw somebody in there to kind of like throw a curveball. I mean, technically, it's kind of like a hardcore anything goes, man. Anybody can go up and grab that briefcase. You look back to the first Money in the Bank briefcase match, and you had Tyson Tomko hoisting Christian up to grab that briefcase, when he could have very much just went up and grabbed it himself.
That's also because Tomko was Christian's little bitch.
No, there's that too. But like, I would like to see a little continuity when it comes to that. Have somebody like R-Truth come down, and try to grab the briefcase. Like, oh, there you go. Because he's got that little comedy thing going, Have him come out and try to grab the briefcase, or have somebody actually come out and grab the briefcase. What happens then?
Yeah. Do you understand how pissed I would have been if the Lucha Dragons would have beaten Alberto Del Rio and Kevin Owens?
Probably like pissed on a scale of like 1 to 10. Probably like a 9 out of 10.
Yeah. Could you imagine WWE's like this is actually looking like a good Money in the Bank. Let's screw this up. They do it. You know they would.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
there's
So
so much you could do with the Lucha Dragon still. I mean, even though Kalisa's kind of breaking out, but the Lucha Dragons is something that could still go on, given that it's given the right push.
I see. I think the Lucha Dragons are done. I think they pushed Kalisto, and they saw what happened when they pushed Kalisto. Kalisto really didn't do anything. The title, the the U.S. title, really meant nothing. What's going
Yeah.
on, Yolanda Pickles? So I don't know. Well, this is a really slow episode of this, Monday Night Review. Not a lot happening. We don't have our third voice. Um, I don't know. To me, the moment of the night is Cena and AJ's promo. I think that's what made tonight's Monday Night Raw what it was.
No, I mean with the realism, I'm sure it definitely does leave a lasting impact on the audience for sure.
Yeah, 100%. I don't even have the right picture up for that. I just have the last one.
But see, that just goes down to AJ Styles and John Cena as a collective. It really shows how well they work together and how they can really throw a feud together in just a few weeks and really push it
Right,
and sell it.
right.
I mean, these are two guys that have never worked together before.
Yeah, 15 years in the making. I remember, I forgot what podcast I watched, or I read an interview somewhere. No, it was not Sam, I believe. I was watching his WrestleMania Access stuff, and he asked, who AJ Styles would like to work with, and I think the first thing he said was John Cena. So I love it, and there's sometimes where I watch this promo, and this is what's so good about it, and I sit there and I think, man, this is like, I understand it's scripted, but this is like too real.
And that's something that's been lacking from the WWE as of late because they want to keep that PG aspect. Is that realism? Once you actually let the real stuff come out, you really see the superstars shine. And that's one of the things that made the Edge and Matt Hardy feud so popular a few years back. It was because they actually had that personal hatred for one another because of what was really going on.
Yeah, I mean, Edge was at the time he was married, and he cheated on his wife, just as Lita cheated on Matt. Man, that was a crazy storyline.
Oh
Even
yeah,
though
and that was one of the very few times where WWE actually ran with a real life story, and it was influenced by that real life event.
yeah, I agree 100%. 100%.
And you're
Jeff
seeing that
versus Matt
realism.
was sick. Did you watch Slammiversary? You'll hashtag Lita is a whore.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. I'll be honest though. Like when she turned heel and had that run with Edge, that was probably the best moment in her career. I'll be completely honest. She had a good run with the Hardy Boys, but she was really popular and grabbed a lot of heat with Edge.
Yeah, that was good heat though. Very good heat.
But that's the thing that we're getting from this AJ Styles feud is that idea of realism, and we're really digging into the personal of both superstars, and we're seeing the best being drawn out of both of them. And both of them we know from years of seeing both of them. I mean, you with AJ Styles, me with John Cena, you with John Cena, that both of them can cut promos.
Right.
But the thing that makes this so fantastic, like I said before, is that these guys, first time working together, with only a little bit amount of time, can really sell this feud and sell it well.
I agree 100%. That's what made them popular. Everybody and their mom hated Edge and Lita. Dude, I grew up a John Cena fan, so I didn't pay attention to any of that. But as soon as the Edge and Cena, which is still to this day, as me as a wrestling fan, my favorite feud,
Mm.
when and this is responding me to Yolanda, and I do apologize if I pronounce your name wrong. To this day, it's my favorite feud. I thought honestly, Edge and Lita fed well off each other, and then the chemistry between Edge, Cena, and Lita was outstanding.
Mhm.
But yeah, I agree. That's 100%. That's why everyone hated Edge and Lita, was because of that. They felt bad for Matt. Matt even got fired because
Yeah.
he was going apeshit crazy about it.
Yeah, and they ended up bringing him back because of so much fan support.
Yeah,
So that
when
fans
they
just
brought him
wouldn't
back,
stop.
they no lie. Um, Matt, they used to do a thing on the WWE.com where they would interview a superstar, and they interviewed Lita, and Edge or Matt Hardy called in. And Matt started talking and talking and talking to Lita, and Lita's like, "Are you really doing this right now?" So I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god!"
But you see the realism start to pour through, and WWE saw that, and they're like, "This is not what we wanted to do, but this is gold."
Yeah,
And to take something like a professional setting like this and be able to sell a real life issue and really put that feud together is just absolutely amazing. Like I mean, if I were Matt Hardy, I wouldn't have been able to do the feud with Edge. I mean, I'm sure he didn't pull as many punches as he was supposed to. I mean, I'm sure
oh no,
a lot of that aggression was real going into it.
100%. Vince wouldn't have allowed Matt to come back if he wouldn't have done that feud. And Edge straight up said, "Get your few hits in and let's go."
Right. He was always willing to do everything, though. That's what made him such a great
Well, one of the
wrestler.
greatest things I ever saw Edge say, and we're totally like going off topic now of Monday Night Raw. One
Of
thing,
course.
this is fine. I mean, Monday Night Raw wasn't great anyway, so we can talk about whatever the chat wants to talk about. One thing that Edge said in his little documentary that I thought was amazing was, he went to his hometown and he, was expecting everyone to cheer for him, and then everyone booed him. So he said,
Yeah.
"All right, well, fuck you," and he went heel, like major fucking heel on him.
Oh yeah, and I think that was when he just came back. What was it? Just when he came back from like a minor injury?
Maybe.
Yeah, because I remember I watched DVD. It's one of my favorite DVDs. I actually have it in my collection right now. I actually watched it about a week ago. I mean, I know I've talked to you, Blake, several times about how Edge is my favorite wrestler, and he always has been. And to this day, like the feuds with John Cena and his retirement speech in particular was one of the most important parts of his career, to where it's kind of like, wow, he got that wow factor. I mean, those were probably the two biggest moments of his career where he really got a reaction from the crowd, whether it was good or whether it was bad. Because Edge and Lita with the shock factor, and the retirement speech with another completely different shock factor, but everybody, you know, didn't expect him to leave so early. It was such a
Right.
shock to see him leave so quickly.
Yeah. So, does anyone want to hear a super, super big spoiler on
I
Money in
think
the
we should
Bank?
tell them.
No, like you don't even know it.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Now I want to know.
So, Yolanda, I'm letting you be the voice of the chat right now. Do you want to hear the spoiler, because it could ruin Money in the Bank and ruin the Money in the Bank match for you?
Everyone knows Zack Ryder's going to come out and win the match.
Exactly.
Tony right now.
That's
No,
what
I'm
it
just
is.
kidding.
That's what it is. Zack Ryder to be the seventh man. All right.
Yes.
So in all caps, he said yes. So from the Inquisitor, there's an article, and it says that a poster of the next pay-per-view, which is Battleground, has been released, and it has Dean Ambrose with the Money in the Bank briefcase next to him.
Ooh. I mean, they're probably teasing. They're probably going to pull a Bobby Roode on us. I mean, like, the equivalent of Bobby Roode coming to the WWE is like watching Game of Thrones and having the promise of dragons and White Walkers. They're coming. They're coming. They're coming. It's just they're doing the same thing with Dean Ambrose, probably, in my opinion. Dean Ambrose is either going to win it or Kevin Owens is. Those are two they're going to win it. If anybody else wins it, I'll be shocked. But they're
And
probably building up that tension.
Ambrose has worked his ass off. I think he deserves
Oh, yeah.
it. If you want my
Absolutely.
opinion, he would have already had the belt around his waist. I had Survivor Series last year set out, and I had a I think perfect. I honestly do. Unfortunately, you can't find that on YouTube because we did that on Mixler.
Hmm. Well, the big issue I think with Dean Ambrose, and people are going to disagree, and I don't even agree with this,
Then why are
but
you
I
saying
feel
it?
like, well, it's what I've heard from what I've read and online about what the company thinks of Dean Ambrose himself. They think he's a good worker that gets a reaction, of course, but they don't think that he's quite the material to be champion.
Right.
They don't see him as a face brand, like because he's kind of weird and kind of quirky. Um, they don't see him being the head guy. Whereas Roman Reigns he's that big guy, the good looking guy, somebody that the girls go wild for, and somebody that the kids just can look up to as a hero.
Right.
Dean Ambrose is kind of that weird, quirky guy who he's. If I had to compare him to any other wrestler, like I definitely say he's more of like. Man, it's really hard to say. I
Mick
mean,
Foley.
Mick Foley, yeah, he's more of a Mick Foley to where he has the potential to be a good champion, but the company doesn't see him as that face of the company. I think Mick Foley is probably the best comparison. Mick Foley finally got that time to shine,
Yolanda.
and I feel like he'll get it.
He already dominated with the Intercontinental title. He had to drop it because of the whole Fastlane thing.
Right.
He's already
Which was a
dominated.
complete bullcrap. Maybe they got rid of that title run so quickly.
I'm just letting you know you can say bullshit. It's not against the rules.
Yeah, I'm just trying to be censored, I guess. I don't know.
You don't have to be. We're on YouTube. It's okay. So, just before we continue talking about this, if you guys are enjoying E3, if you guys are video game fans, be sure to tune in every single Wednesday. Wednesday nights we have in-game, where we talk about what's going on in the video game world. Me, myself, Colby, and Tom will be talking about the big topics of E3. We're also going to be throwing in Overwatch. Also on Thursdays we have Next Big Thing. We talk NXT. That might not happen this week because Kyle once again does have his mother is sick. She's in the hospital. Also Saturdays is Keeping It Real with Blake and Kyle. And then obviously the Sunday we'll have the Monday Night Raw. Sunday nights, Monday Night Raw review. Sundays we'll have Money in the Bank, the pre-show and after-show. And what do you mean, where can I look up what I've missed so far? Well, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you never miss another show. Also, like it if you're enjoying what you're listening to. Like what I did there. Last week, we actually did not do a Monday Night Raw review because, one, I was sick and we never was able to record it. Week before that, we did one. Andrew has been a part of the rest. Oh, my goodness, I almost said the other show name. The Realest Podcast family. About a month now, hasn't it?
Yeah, just about.
I almost said Wrestling Rocks. I don't know why, but it's still like one of
Such a
those.
crazy name, man.
Yeah, dude, it's so
It's like
crazy.
a stoner. Oh, wrestling
No,
rocks,
it's
man.
easy off the tongue. That's honestly like my intro of what is going on, guys. You're listening to wrestling. That's where I got it. Like I don't know what it is. It's like what is going on, guys. You're listening to the Realest Podcast. It doesn't come off as right as strong. I don't know. I
So,
like my intro.
Dean Ambrose wins.
Hang on. This Wednesday we will have in-game. We're going to be recording it Wednesday, so part 1 of E3 will be going up this Wednesday. So be sure to subscribe and tune in for that. Okay, go ahead, Andrew. I'm sorry.
So you have this this picture you have with Dean Ambrose with the briefcase. So say Dean Ambrose wins. What does he do for there? How long does he take to cash it in?
By the way, I cannot show the picture because I could get copyrighted and I could get shut down. I could actually get shut down by even talking about it if you want the God honest truth. When do I think?
We're just guessing.
That's
You don't have
hard.
to worry. We're just guessing.
That's so hard. If he does cash it in, Roman Reigns has to be champion.
Right. I agree.
I think he has to do that. I think cashing it in on Seth would be a mistake.
I mean, he
Why not?
He can make the heel turn.
Why not? Why not cash it in that night or at Battleground?
Now, see, I see somebody like Kevin Owens doing it right like that.
Well, why not? And then SummerSlam is a triple threat, or do it at the Royal Rumble.
Hey, Dean Ambrose is crazy enough to pull a John Cena.
I honestly and truthfully, no, he's not. He's not that. If we're looking at it if we're looking at this show as if like it's real, no, he's not. I honestly think Ambrose could. I honestly would like to see Ambrose do it right before SummerSlam right before WrestleMania. I think if we're going to see a one-on-one with him and Roman Reigns or him and Rollins, you do it right before WrestleMania. But if we see a triple threat, I think you do it at SummerSlam.
Mhm.
Because it's, we still haven't seen the Shield wrestle each other.
No, no. I mean, whenever the Shield has been together in a triple threat match, it's been with somebody else involved. Like whether it be Brock Lesnar or whether it be what was another one they were together with? I don't think it was Randy Orton. I think it was just Brock Lesnar. Now
What
that
are
I'm
you
thinking
talking
about
about?
it. When they had the Shield together in a match, I think it was Brock Lesnar. It was like a fatal 4-way, and they power bombed him through a table.
I remember that wasn't that long ago. Wasn't that long ago at all.
It might have been Brock Lesnar.
I don't know. I think we're starting to just ramble right now. I think we should, end it.
Nothing to say about Paige winning. Her
There's, not,
guaranteed title match.
there's nothing really to say about it. I mean, we've seen it in the past where we'll have the champion get pinned. That's the second time Paige has pinned her since Charlotte's been champion and Paige hasn't gotten anything. If you want my honest opinion, let this tag team go and let Paige go on at Battleground, right?
Well, from what we saw, Dana Brooke already is making mistakes. We're probably going to see the end of their partnership come the pay-per-view, the Money in the Bank pay-per-view.
Do you really give Dana Brooke the opportunity to go after the title already?
Oh, no. But I think Charlotte's going to turn on her before that.
So you have two pay-per-views about the women's title?
2 pay-per-views with the women's title now.
Without it?
No. You have to put the women's title on the line. Like, I'm surprised they're not putting it on the line this pay-per-view.
I can understand why they're not.
They're
Adding more time to the Money in the Bank because you're also not getting a Intercontinental title this week.
Yeah, but at the same time, I feel like their big push for the Divas division, or not the Divas, I'm sorry, the Superstar division. I'm getting used to the new title.
Divas.
Yeah, I broke the fourth wall. The whole idea about that was to give them more time, to give them more storylines, to give them more story arc. You don't want to keep, I want to say keep, but you don't want to start suppressing their matches and making them have these meaningless matches. And that's the thing I'm worried about, because we're going to see Sasha Banks challenge for that title. It's going to happen.
At SummerSlam. In the Barclays Center.
I'm hoping.
You should go.
I should go.
You're not that far away from it, aren't you? Or New York?
No, not that far.
Then you should go.
3
Seriously,
hours.
go, and then once the show's over, you call in.
There you go.
Dude, I'm serious. Go.
Yeah, it's like you and a rainbow. We should just do it.
No, like once you say no, I'm not gonna do it. It's fine, but you should do it. It'd be an experience of a lifetime.
Oh, absolutely. The pay-per-views are outstanding. I remember I went to Money in the Bank a while back.
I went to Night of Champions and WrestleMania in less than a year.
Hey, I'll tell you what, man. I'm envious of WrestleMania. I bet that it was just crazy there.
If you want my god honest opinion, it wasn't that great.
Really?
I didn't look. I enjoyed NXT TakeOver Dallas more than I enjoyed WrestleMania.
Well, that's the problem, though, because they're not putting on the show that we want them to put on, where NXT is giving us what we want.
Right.
And the big difference is that Paul Levesque, Triple H, has had a big say in what's going on in NXT.
You broke the fourth wall again?
I broke the fourth wall again.
Who's
Man,
Paul?
I'm full of surprises.
His name is Hunter.
His name is Hunter Hearst Helmsley, yes. He has that big say in what's going on with NXT. And not only that, but I'm really digging the announce team, too. Like, Corey Graves is outstanding. I'm going to say it, man. Corey Graves, man, he's outstanding as a commentator. I mean, he was a good wrestler. I hate to see that he can't wrestle anymore. But, Corey Graves, he does a good job. The only problem I have with Corey Graves is that he kind of jumps sides here and there. Like one time he's a heel, the next time he's a face, and he's a heel, and
It's
he's a
because he's
face.
trying to get him over. Like JBL does the same thing, and
Yeah.
it's awful. But I mean, Corey Graves doesn't do it as bad as JBL.
Oh no, no, he really sells it though.
But I do think that we'll see Corey Graves on SmackDown next month.
I'd hope so.
He deserves
I'd
it.
rather have him than Byron Saxton.
It's kind of oh, you heard the squeaky. It's kind of getting to the point where, like it said, the end. We're getting to the point where the end of the originals are gone. I think that should include Corey Graves. I think you have Tom Phillips to remain at NXT because if you want my honest opinion, I don't think Tom Phillips is all that great. I don't. I think you throw in another heel commentator and just go on from there. And Yolanda said WrestleMania equals boo boo. I agree. I was there. Dude, look, I'll tell you this: the only thing I could tell you that was absolutely crazy was there's two things: Shane jumping off the cage, and as soon as Triple H's music stopped, Roman Reigns got booed out of the goddamn stadium.
Oh yeah, and they did their best to try to downplay it.
The fact that they're lowering the microphone, in my opinion, is pathetic. Why?
Well, everyone knew he was going to get booed at a stadium. From the moment Triple H won that Royal Rumble, everyone knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
People don't mind seeing Triple H as champion. They don't, because it means that Roman Reigns isn't.
Look, this is how my thought process went, and you can actually watch. Shane's a dumbass. You can go watch it in our very first video. As soon as Triple H won, I was, yes, let's go. And then I was walking to our station to do the show, and it hit me, and I stopped and I said, oh my God, Roman Reigns is going to win at WrestleMania.
Yeah. Which, honestly, it wasn't supposed to be that way. I mean, from what I understand, it was supposed to be Triple H and Seth Rollins. And that was supposed to build up. And that would have been a great match. I would have preferred to see that over the Roman Reigns match.
Yeah, another thing is we're actually seeing this seeing Shane and Steph kind of getting ready to feud.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing though, because they're going to be owning their separate brands, and like Shane said this on the show, like, hey, I'll run Raw, you run SmackDown. She goes, no, 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 no. Well, fine, then I'll run SmackDown, you run Raw. It's like you see this where they just can't agree on who's going to run what. And then we have to get the question is, all these people keep coming in and demanding that they get a spot on the new show as like a general manager or as like an advisor. We got first Teddy Long, who would have been excellent to bring back in. No?
Someone new.
I like
nothing
Teddy
from
Long.
the past. Nothing from the past brand split. Got to do something new. By the way, Yolanda, be sure to subscribe. That way you can check out this Wednesday E3 show in game.
And thank you for commenting. It's very important to us to get your voice out there.
No, not Teddy Long. You need honestly do Shane versus Steph or have Triple H fucking run it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I have no complaints when it comes to Triple H and his ideas. I mean, he is brilliant, and I think part of that is the fact that he was a wrestling fan to begin with before he was a wrestler.
He's also a referee.
So he knows what we want, and he was a referee. Not many people know that about him in his career.
Yeah, you just need someone new. I thought Kane would have been interesting there.
Kane would be very interesting, but I would put him on SmackDown. And I think they kind of alluded to that. Hey, I got some ideas for SmackDown,
Yeah. Look, honestly, Shane versus Steph, that's what it needs to be, but it's scary because have you realized when Steph is basically running Raw, how bad Raw is?
Yeah.
Think about it. When Shane is running Raw, we've said nothing but good things about it. But when Steph is there and she's running, like ever since she's come back on TV, Raw has been bad.
Is that just us though, or is it just the way that they're making it?
Look,
you know what I mean? Like, is that the writing purposely doing that to us?
I
or
do
is it,
not.
Like, trying to
I don't
psych us
know.
out? What's going on?
I thought you meant is that us saying that. I don't know. If it is, why would you do that? Like it
Yeah,
makes
why
no
would you
sense.
purposely sabotage the show? Is what you're saying?
But that's what's scary. If they are, why would you have one on one SmackDown and one on Raw? Because if they're gonna do that to Steph, then one's gonna be worse than the other.
Right. And you don't want to do that to SmackDown. You don't. You once, like I said before, and I've said it, and you disagree with me when I said it. SmackDown needs to be the hip hot show. It has to be. You cannot have SmackDown being outshadowed. SmackDown has to step up and be better for once.
They won't do that because Raw is a superior show. Always
Of
has
course,
been,
I know
always will
that.
be.
I
They're
know it's
not
always
going to
been
do
a
that.
superior show, but they need to make it a premier show. It has to be. It has to be a must-see show. An absolutely must-see show. And making it live makes it somewhat must-see. But you need to back that up with the right superstars and the right storylines. And part of it has to do with who ends up being the SmackDown general manager or who ends up running SmackDown. Because if it's Steph, people are going to be like, oh, well, I'm not going to watch that show because of Steph. I want to see Shane. Shane's the one who's bringing in all the good matches.
That's not 100% true. I mean, Steph.
Oh, no, I'm just
Steph
saying,
did
like, that's
quote
one
unquote
opinion.
run SmackDown back in the day, and SmackDown was the superior show.
Absolutely, and she was a great general manager. But I mean, as we're looking at it right now, and how the company has been under Triple H and Stephanie,
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly,
the quote unquote Triple H and Stephanie.
I think we're still too far away from that storyline, but I think Battleground should be the final. I think they need to have that pay-per-view before SmackDown goes live.
Mm-hmm.
They need to have that pay-per-view before, and then basically have Vince come out and say who's running what.
Right.
I mean, that's how it
Unless
should go.
they put it up to a match.
Yeah.
Each person pick their champion. Whoever wins gets to pick what show he or she is on.
Yeah, dude, could you... I don't want to see another Donald Trump versus Vince McMahon. Like, I don't know. This is just a whole topic for keeping it real. I mean, and we should honestly keep having the topic because we didn't record it this past Saturday. But I think we should wait for it to have that conversation again because it's going to be interesting. We're going to have the pay-per-view the next day, and then we're going to be recording it. Yolanda, is there any other things you're wanting us to talk about before we go? Because it is getting to that point where we need to wrap it up. I'm going to let you pick the topic right now.
Just the thing, dealer's choice. You get to be a fan, you get to comment in, you get to pick what you want to listen to.
This is what tuning into our podcast really means. I mean, we're not huge, we're not anything like that, but you if you want to come in and comment, you can control the show basically.
That's what we want you to do.
Yeah, and then we'll hit like 100 viewers one day, and then it'll be like, well, we can't read the comments.
I will always read the comments.
I will 100%.
You'll see me be like OCD, like looking through every comment.
Yeah. Dude, like, I'm the same way. Like, I'll read a comment, and I'll be like, no, and I'll respond, and it'll be like mid-sentence of a great topic. So, Yolanda, you don't have anything you want to talk about. Like I said, in a way, this is your last chance. This is it right now.
Let's talk about Zack Ryder and his comeback. Oh yeah, go Zack Ryder!
Right.
Woo woo woo. I still feel bad for what they did to him.
We all do.
Poor Zack Ryder.
We all do. Let me see if I could find something real quick. Cruiserweight Classic.
Well, we can't talk about the other big news because we want to save that for keeping it real too.
What's the other big news?
Mr. Rude.
Oh, no, we can say that. That's a week old. That's almost a week old. Bobby Roode debuting at the Download Festival. Don't get me started. Randy Orton to help John Cena against the club. Ew.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I could definitely see that because they unite under the craziest circumstances. I would love to see Randy Orton back. Randy Orton's my second favorite superstar.
Yolanda, let me ask you this. How was Slammiversary last night? Because I watched a little bit of it, but then I got a really bad migraine and went to sleep. So I'm wanting to go back and watch it. I'm going to go back and watch it. Dude, It's the craziest thing. Thoughts on Jeff Hardy making a run and finally winning his first WWE Championship? It won't happen. I can tell you this because they're not going to put him as the face of the company. That will not happen.
He was WWE champion for
Yeah, he was a WWE
like
champion,
one or two
wasn't he?
times.
No,
Yeah,
he was a WWE champion before.
Yeah, he was. He won a triple threat match for it. I think he pinned Triple H. If I remember right. Swanton bomb off the top rope, broke up a submission.
Don't worry, we're about to find out.
Oh yeah. I think he actually won the title twice, or if he won, I think he might have won the World Heavyweight Championship and the WWE Championship. But he did actually make it there for his title run. I'm pretty sure if I look at the WWE Network, I can tell you it only lasted a month because he lost the title right away.
I actually really enjoyed this the new website for that WWE has.
Oh yeah, it makes it so easy to navigate.
Listen to us, we're like totally just like destroying. Like, dude, yeah, this is really good. Really enjoy it. Trying to figure it out, because there is.
Oh, yeah, and I'm looking at the Raw recap, and it says right on the thing, they have an argument between Charlotte and Dana Brooke already.
Yeah,
the caption reads, "Nice and big. Charlotte will not accept failure." I'm telling you, man, they're gonna start imploding.
Yeah, it's gonna happen 100%. That's already.
It's not their partnership is not gonna last very long.
Yeah, it will. Man, where is it? I'm trying to find it.
What are you trying to find?
Oh, here it is. Looking at the past from 2000s to hold the title. Is that the 2010s? Like, this is what the show's come to. Yeah, it's 2010 to present.
Yeah.
2000, 2009, Sheamus, Cena, Orton, Batista, Orton, H.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of
Jeff
Orton,
Hardy.
Triple H.
Yeah, Jeff Hardy held it December 14th, 2008 to January 25th of 2009.
Yeah, so a month.
Yeah,
like I said, it was.
If you actually want the truth, it was 42 days.
42 days. We're gonna round it down to a month because
Cena wasn't wrestling at this point. That's right.
Yeah, but I mean, they finally gave him that limelight that they never gave Matt. You know. And Jeff Hardy came out there, and he
Jeff was more over.
Oh well, he was always more over, but Matt Hardy, man, he had a heck of a career going on SmackDown. I mean, he was a top guy over at SmackDown for a while. I mean, like Tom Peel, he's more of like a Dolph Ziggler, but I hate to say that because Dolph Ziggler is amazing. And for any of you who haven't tuned in before, I'm a huge Dolph Ziggler fan.
Cena held the title for 381 days.
Well, you got to remember, Cena's like the next Hulk Hogan.
Shit.
Whenever they look up to him, like his accomplishments are up there with Hulk Hogan. They're trying to make him the next Hulk Hogan.
Oh God, I gotta see who held the title for that long. Bob Backlund held the title for 2,100 days.
CM Punk, he held it for a long time.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
His title run.
I want to say it was the 381 days.
Yeah, he was the longest reigning champion of the Common Era.
He held it for 435 days.
400, yeah, that sounds about right. I don't think it was his first championship reign. I think it was his second when he was with Paul Heyman.
Yeah, he did.
What's that?
I'm pretty sure he did.
I think he lost the title like quickly his first time out, and then his second time out was when he held it for all those days when he linked up with Paul Heyman.
Right.
Because he had that little sprint between John Cena and Alberto Del Rio, where the title changed hands between the three of them. Where Cena versus Punk, and Cena left with, or not Cena, Punk left with the title. Then they had to remake the title, and then there was two titles.
In all honesty, what year was that? What year was that? Honestly, it was 2011. 2011, if you want my opinion, I honestly do not think Cena, Rey Mysterio held title July 25th for 2 hours.
Yeah, and Cena won it back right away.
Just
And after Cena
2
was
hours.
fired for losing the title, and he came right back the next night.
Yeah, 2 hours. That was it.
Poor Rey Mysterio. He won a tournament,
2
and that didn't
hours.
last long.
Right, like I don't know, like in my opinion, in 2011, even though he did hold the title, like let me see, 11, 1, 2, 3. He held it for he held it 3 times, but nothing was more than 20 days. So
Mm-hmm.
or never mind, he had one for 77. I don't think he really held the title because I remember that year was awful for the guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what happened. Like I said, it was that big big splint with CM Punk, Cena, and Alberto Del Rio. They just went back and forth, and it was mostly Alberto Del Rio. They came away with the title for a little bit, and then CM Punk finally got it back.
If you want my opinion, the downfall of Monday Night Raw. The Miz held it for 159 days. Don't know how still to this day. CM
Oh,
Punk.
Alex Riley, Rage,
Don't,
man, Rage.
don't get me started, man. The Rock held it for 70 days. Probably made 3 TV appearances. Cena held it for 133 days. Daniel Bryan held it for 4 minutes. Then Daniel Bryan.
Was that the WrestleMania loss?
No, that was I want to say it was SummerSlam because it was SummerSlam.
Where Sheamus bro kicked him right away. I thought that was WrestleMania where
I'm
he
talking
lost
Daniel Bryan. I'm not talking Roman.
No, that wasn't Roman Reigns. I mean, he beat him in quick fashion, but I think it might be Daniel Bryan in the World
Daniel
Heavyweight
Bryan,
Championship.
dude, I can't help it. And then Daniel Bryan held it for 22 hours. Lesnar held it for 224 days. Roman Reigns held it for 10 minutes. Like, what the fuck, dude? What is up with all this? Shortest reign was 4 minutes, held by Daniel Bryan.
That's crazy.
What was your shortest reign here? 30 minutes. Who had it for 30 minutes?
It's like looking back at the Royal
Randy
Rumble
Orton held it for
statistics.
30 minutes. Shortest reign from 1990 to 99 was 9 minutes. Who had it for 9 minutes? Like this is just interesting, and I know like
Who
we're not.
had it for 9 minutes?
I'm about to find out. This is so interesting.
This is breaking news, man. This is a little bit of history.
Yokozuna held it for 9 minutes.
Really?
Mm-hmm. 80,
Wow.
80 from 89. The shortest was 59 minutes by Andre the Giant. 70 from 79 was 9 days by Stan Stasic. And then from 60 to 69 was 22 days by Buddy Rogers. Because Bruno San Martino held it for 2,800 days.
Wow.
Like
Talk about Superman
he
right
did
there.
it twice? Oh, it was because it was a part of that year. Yeah, Bruno San Martino holds that record. Basketball fans, Cavs won. I don't care, dude. ESPN's gonna act like they just won the NBA Finals.
Hey, they came back another night.
Yeah. Well, look.
That's big news.
I honestly think we've talked everything we could. I mean, we're on the WWE website just looking at belts. But look, for anyone listening, be sure to hit that like button if you're enjoying what you're listening to. Also subscribe. That way you can tune in every single Monday Night Raw. We go live Monday night for the Brawl review. We go live with the Realest Podcast Monday Night Review. Tuesdays will be the SmackDown review once that goes live. Wednesdays is in-game. Be sure to tune in this Wednesday because we'll be covering E3. A lot of awesome things happening with E3. A lot of things I can't wait to talk about. Thursday's next big thing. Kyle and I will talk about what's going on in NXT. Saturdays is obviously Keeping It Real, Blake and Kyle. And then Sundays, when there's a WWE live event, we go live. Andrew, thank you so much for doing the two-man. It's very interesting. A lot harder to do with two people, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, dude. I quick story for everyone. We did Mixler in one time. Me and my co-host weren't getting along at the time, and I did a show by myself. And I was like, I re-listened to it, and I was like, this is what I sounded like. I was, so today, Daniel Bryan won. I re-listened. I was like, oh,
big
my
old
God.
monotone voice.
So it was really cool.
This is called your nap time playlist.
Yeah, seriously, I'm look, man, I'm glad I'm back. I'm glad it's easy now. Like, I remember having a conversation with someone not long ago about it, and it was like, it's just like talking. You're basically having a conversation with someone, but people are listening. That's it.
Mm.
It's like someone's overhearing you, and that's such a bad analogy, but
It works.
yeah, works for me. But until next time, guys, be sure to tune in when we go live and when we upload. So until next time, I'm Blake Carter, joined by Andrew Bass, Kyle. Once again, hope your mom gets better. And once again, our thoughts and prayers are with the victims of the Orlando shooting. Such a bad event. So bad. But until next time, peace out.